I'm Matt from Select Start Media. I'm here with
Matt.
And Alex.
Matt and Alex, and we're at the Wollongong Game Jam 2013. Now the theme for this game jam is the heartbeat. How have you guys tried to incorporate that theme into your game?
Well, through murder.
So explain to me the idea of the game. What is the game?
Well,
I think murder is a very strong word. I mean, I think it's more of a survival game, to be honest. But you can incorporate murder just if you feel like playing that way. So it's all really depends on whether you want to stay alive.
or like just be a dick.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
But the idea is you're in the spaceship and you're in a dangerous part of the galaxy, and your ship kind of crashed. As it crashed, a lot of the passengers who were incidentally wearing spacesuits were strewn all over the place, and so were these oxygen tanks. So you're quickly running out of oxygen, and you're told by someone in authority to tag them, so they can be rescued for later on. But the thing is, you every step you take is using up your oxygen. If you try to go up to a high ground to try and survey the area, that's jumping or going up to a higher location takes oxygen. So you gotta refill your tank.
Okay.
So there are tanks all over the place, not attached to anyone. There's no problem taking the oxygen from that. But also there are these dudes in spacesuits. Now the thing with the dudes in spacesuits is they've got a heartbeat. They've got like life signs.
Okay.
So we didn't actually explicitly say it was a heartbeat, and I think Alex made a point of not having the literal heartbeat sound in.
I agree. I think that's good.
Because the heartbeat can represent many things. It can represent warmth, love, life itself. So there's many different. That's why I think this is a really great thing for this year's Game Jam, because there's so many different ways you can take it.
I think a lot of teams have said the same thing. The thing can be taken really broad. So people have done this, like a cat jumping out of boxes, and someone else has done psychological horror, like pure psychological horror. So it's a huge different wide range of things you can get from this thing.
Yeah, ours is like where are the monsters.
Go on, sorry.
I guess the idea is you have the ability to steal someone's oxygen, and if you steal someone's oxygen in space, they die.
Yes.
Well, if you steal someone's oxygen on Earth, you die too.
Oh, there's oxygen around the place. It's a good.
Oxygen's a much more precious commodity in space, I'd imagine.
I think it would be.
Yeah.
So the idea of your game is that it's sort of the moral ambiguity of should you take this person's oxygen or should you save them? What are the benefits to you?
Well, I guess the idea is if you're playing, if you're following instructions and you're put in this difficult situation, you might come across a scenario where you're very limited in oxygen, but it's possible that you could just get to one person, and you can see just further off in the horizon that there are like maybe 3 other people that you can save.
Yep.
But you can't get to them on your own tank. So you have to make the choice. Do you let this person right in front of you live, or take his life and have the chance to save 3 other people?
Okay. Now the other interesting thing is you said there's no real end game in this sort of thing. So can you like kill yourself, expend all your oxygen to save other people?
Well, there's a concept of a time limit now.
Okay.
At the end of the time limit, you get a little stat screen. There's not really sort of like a score, because if we put in like a score, that's kind of pushing the player in one direction.
Yep, for sure.
So like basically it's just you've tagged this many people, this many are alive, and this many are dead.
So you want to try to avoid saying this is good, this is bad.
Yeah,
you want to give player options.
Yeah, it should be like how the result of the playthrough should be interpreted by the player, whether they think that's good or bad.
I mean, if someone felt the need to just simply make sure the oxygen all went to themselves, yes, you're not technically stealing anyone else's oxygen, but if by stealing someone else's oxygen allowed you to save, one person instead of 0, then that would arguably be a better outcome, even though you technically killed someone.
Yep.
So it'll be an interesting it'll be an interesting insight into people's minds.
Oh, for sure. And one other thing I noticed is the people who are collapsed in the on the asteroid or whatever, they've got like their names and their sex and their age and then their crime, so it's prison ship. Are you going to implement that in the final release, or?
Yeah, I guess it's going to be a prison ship because the original idea was you could sort of see what sort of person this is, but then it'll take two roles, like this guy has a wife and had this many kids and that sort of thing.
I guess that sort of information, yeah, is a bit more than really necessary. That sort of information you mentioned, but
Yeah. So like the crime thing was a really succinct way of doing
Yep.
it because like if you had you'd feel a lot it'd be a lot easier to take the life of a murderer who themselves have taken someone else's life, and you might feel a certain sort of sense of justice. But if it was just like some 16-year-old kid that's there because of duty,
Yep.
and they've made a stupid mistake, I don't know. That's a little bit a bit of a harder choice.
so it's a way of trying sort of giving the player a reason to take one life over another, if that makes sense.
It's just a thing to complicate things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
That's an element of gaming to it.
Yeah. So you're not so sure about the decisions that you're making.
So someone could feel really good about killing this murderer, going, yeah, sucked in. They'll teach, and then suddenly the person he ends up saving is like some genocidal maniac or someone who's like, I don't know, raped children or something. So it just could end up being what you think is the right choice could end up just being so much worse.
So I'm impressed by the game that I've played so far, that I've seen being played so far. Have you run into any problems or any major issues in developing it?
Not really.
Nothing seriously?
I'm working with Unity for a while now,
No?
I mean, the thing is, I don't feel like I really had to reinvent anything. I've heard a few people actually saying that they've tried things that they've never actually tried before in terms of technical stuff, like in terms of new code.
Yep.
But I didn't really feel like I had to do that.
Yep.
But this idea itself is the new thing, so I think I'm quite grateful for that. The technical hurdles, which is what Unity's like. That's the big marketing spiel about Unity. You can concentrate on your game instead of just talking about technical hurdles.
Sure.
And I guess it's one of the few times where that's actually been true now. Maybe that's because I've been working with Unity for a while.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it also comes down to the fact that we've kept our team much smaller this year.
Yep.
Last year we had 4 team members, and while the dynamic was pretty good, like the more people you add, it tends to become harder to reach decisions.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
And I think I was initially kind of apprehensive when Matt suggested that we just keep with us two, but I think in the end it's actually been a really good decision.
Sure.
So thanks, Matt.
Do you think you've sacrificed anything in keeping it to a 2-member team?
Probably like art.